our next speaker is a very experienced speaker here at Well Said Toastmasters. He also will be speaking from Pathways, the dynamic leadership path. And the point of his speech is writing a speech with purpose. The title of his speech is Let's Get Outdoors. And he's going to be talking about the benefits of getting outdoors, taking yourself outside, leaving the confines of your abode, and getting outdoors. Please welcome Jim Stubanas.
So, I'll ask a question here. How many of you are transplants here to the Raleigh area? Okay. How many of you like to get outdoors? Perfect. And how many of you are aware that there is a resource here in the Wade County area that can be found virtually everywhere in the county that you can access for outdoor activities? And it's free, okay? Did you know that this resource was started by a bond issue? The very first bond issue floated by a city in the United States to build this resource. How many of you know what I'm talking about?
Parks.
Close. Connects to Parks.
Greenway.
That's it. Yep. I'm talking about the Capital Greenway system. I call it the Raleigh Bike Pass, but its official name is the Capital Greenway system. It's multi-purpose, and what I mean by that is you can run on it, you can walk on it, you can walk the baby, walk your dog, you can rollerblade, you can use a regular bicycle or an e-bike, and best of all, it connects to all the parks. It's completely free. All right, so let's start with a little bit of history. The Raleigh Greenway system was the brainchild of a fellow named Bill Ornoy, who was a graduate student at NC State. He put this plan together and he took it to the city of Raleigh. And in 1974, Raleigh said, we're going to build this greenway. And they floated a bond issue to support this effort. The genius of the system is they didn't have to go out and buy a bunch of land. They were smart. What did they do? They built the greenway system on the existing right-of-way for the electrical and water and sewer lines throughout Wake County. There's a little bit of a downside to that in that if they have to maintain those, they're going to block off the greenway for that section while they do that. But the benefit is they don't have to go out and buy land and encroach on owners' properties in order to support the greenway system. And to this date, they've got about 150 miles of bike paths all around Wake County. Okay, so 2011, they started with a $40 million bond. As recently as 2022, the city has invested another $275 million, not just for the greenways, but for all the parks and recreational facilities that support this greenway system. Why do I mention that? Well, it seems to me bonds can't be approved by the commissioners, they're approved by the public. So what that means is that not only does our government support the system, but our taxpayers do. People use it extensively. It also serves as a connector to other rail systems. So we have the rail to trail system, or the mountains to sea. It starts out on the coast, it runs all the way out to the Great Smoky Mountains. There's also a north-south trail that runs called the East Coast Greenway, starts up in the northeast, runs all the way down to Florida, is connected by our greenway system. We have mountain biking paths in Umstead Park. We've also got the American Tobacco Trail in Durham. Anyone here live in Wake Forest? We've got the Smith Creek Greenway, Dunn Creek Greenway, Toddler Run Park, E. Carroll Joyner Park, and the Wake Forest Reservoir Loop for mountain bikes. So you can see this resource is everywhere. And the best part is that it's free. So, I've got a present for you. Here is your very own copy of the Greenway system.
Thank you.
Yep. I happen to be a volunteer for the Raleigh Police Department Greenway system. And I got these maps for you, so let's open these up real quick. I just want to acquaint you with this because this is a great resource. And incidentally, all of this is available online under the city of Raleigh. Open this up, and let's turn in this map section. If you notice, up in the top right-hand corner here, here's this map, right? If you want to see our greenway system, okay? Way up towards the corner of the lake up there on the right, top right-hand corner is the start of the Neuse River system. Neuse River Trail runs all the way down to Clayton. And it's so popular that the city of Clayton built a connector from the greenway right into downtown Clayton. So if you ever want to ride the trail, stop in and have lunch and come back, great thing. I brag to people that I can ride, okay, this trail for 34 miles and not cross one road. I have literally ridden this trail hundreds of times. If you look around, you see some other trails here. These are in yellow, and they have connectors. Now, let's turn around on the back here and take a look at this side. We've got a grid. Share this with you, Rich. Okay? And this grid describes the various sections of the trail, the features, the amenities, where you have parking. On the far right, you've got descriptions of where the parks are. So I want you all to keep this great resource. Now, there's no cost. What if you don't own a bike? There are bike rentals throughout Raleigh, even e-bike rentals, even carriers for your kids or your dog. I've seen that too. So there's really no excuses out there. There's no charge. Everyone's welcome. It's safe. It's monitored by volunteers like myself, as well as, believe it or not, Raleigh police officers on electric motorcycles. Very cool. Here's my call to action. You live in this beautiful place called Raleigh. You've got a resource right there at your fingertips that you can literally access from anywhere. In fact, one of the trails comes down this street just a couple hundred yards from here. Goes down to Shelley Lake, continues down into the city. Take your kids, take your dog. Only one thing I'd like you to leave behind. Leave this behind and enjoy the outdoors.